Hey there, I'm Amy. This is my dog Cody, and I wanted to talk to you today about decluttering regret. Have you ever experienced it? When you get rid of something and then shortly thereafter realize you probably could have used it and now you got to rebuy the stuff or whatever. So that's happened to me a few times in the past 2-3 years that I've been trying to declutter. And how do I feel about it? Is it worth the risk of getting rid of as much as I can to have my home feel calmer if I might possibly need one of the things that I get rid of? For instance, I talked to my husband about decluttering his long johns because he wasn't snowboarding anymore, and he felt like he wouldn't have a lot of time to be doing that since we have a couple kids. He's busy with work, there's not really places nearby to go snowboarding, so I got rid of him. And then last year we had a cold snap and he decided he actually wanted his long johns. He forgot we already got rid of them. So yes, I did have to rebuy them for about 10 bucks. There have definitely been other situations like that where I realized, oh, I could have used that for this situation or that. Well, this is probably the last time I'm gonna be able to fit into these jeans, and I just decluttered my bigger sizes of jeans. I gave them away to a friend, thinking I wouldn't gain weight. Well, I'm definitely gaining weight, and I blame COVID. Just kidding, I blame my husband. Well, surprise! We thought we were completely done with the family of 4. That's actually where the number 4 came from in my aim for a creative life. But it's gonna turn into 5 because we are unexpectedly expecting. And yes, I did just declutter all the baby stuff and my maternity stuff. But I don't actually regret decluttering those things, and I'm gonna tell you why. Personally, for me, getting over the emotional barriers to decluttering has been the biggest challenge in my minimalism journey. I really felt a lot of pressure to have more kids, but I didn't think I could handle it, and also I was having hormone issues, so we didn't know if it was possible. A doctor even told me that my eggs are probably bad and that I am premenopausal or perimenopausal or something like that because I had hot flashes for a couple of years. But I guess my body is healthy enough, so that's a good thing. And even though I had plans that looked a lot different than adding another little one to the family, I am really looking forward to it, and I'm thankful that I'm learning new time management skills, which has a lot to do with decluttering because I don't have to manage my stuff so much. I feel like this is going to be really key to reduce my overwhelm as a mom of newborn, and I'm excited about doing the baby stages again, but this time with a minimalist approach. So, today I'm going to Goodwill to try to track down some maternity pants, and hopefully I'll find something for less expensive before I hit motherhood maternity store. Should I be kicking myself for having gotten rid of those things? So I don't know how long you've been watching on my channel, but I've mentioned a few times before that at one point when we lived in North Carolina, we rented a storage unit. My thought was put everything in there that I'm not going to be using, that's not essential, so that I can organize everything else in our new, smaller house. And in that time, somebody robbed us. I had just gone through and organized with my wonderful friend Laura. All of our newborn clothes were washed, folded, and organized by size all the way up through, I think, at that time, 12-month clothing, and labeled. Everything was really organized, but I wasn't going to be needing those things because my daughter was at that time about 14 months old. And I also cloth diapered at that time. I used pre-folds, the Econobum set, and because we were in transition, I wasn't currently doing the cloth diapering then. All that got stolen. I don't know why somebody would want to steal pre-folds like, my mom used on us. It was really traumatic, but what I learned from that experience was that we were okay because that was actually non-essential stuff. Things we wouldn't be using except in a situation like this. So that did help me on my minimalism journey, kind of trying to make sense of it and not be bitter. Just like, well, it made our next move a little easier not to have all that stuff, but the emotional attachment that you might feel with baby stuff was definitely there, and it was pretty traumatic. It wasn't like I hadn't gone through decluttering, so to speak, with baby stuff before, but you can't help it when your stuff gets stolen, right? So this time around, I'm the one who chose to give away my maternity clothes. I decided instead of keeping our wooden baby crib in our shed getting yucky, I would turn it into a dog crate end table for, at the time we had 2 dogs. It was a pretty big piece of furniture, so then I flipped it again in this video. And I gave away our crib mattress to a friend who had a surprise baby, I don't know, like 8 or 9 years after her first 2 kids. So the reasons I have for not feeling massive decluttering regret about my maternity and baby things, well, about 12 months through toddler years and some random things like baby carriers and some baby gear, is because for me, I needed to keep making momentum and making those tough decisions of getting rid of things so that I could keep pushing forward with my decluttering journey. So having gotten rid of the other things actually allows me to be more intentional about what I'm bringing in to our home this time around. Being serious about decluttering, even if you make some decluttering mistakes, I think vastly improves the quality of my life. I think I've mentioned before that my husband noticed I was having a hard time managing the home, and his solution for that and to reduce his stress levels was to reduce my stress levels. He thought that buying a bigger house where we would have more space to organize things would solve the problem. Now, I'm a military kid. I've moved every 3 years at least throughout my life, and I thought by marrying a non-military guy, I wouldn't be moving that much, but it turns out his sense of adventure is chasing new challenges with jobs, so we have moved several times since we've been married. I didn't want to move again. I really like it where I live, and I didn't want to go through the stress of moving because most of that falls on my shoulder. Write in the comments below if you've ever moved with little ones. Packing up, especially if there's not a moving company to do the packing for you, it's really stressful and it's a lot of work, and it sounded exhausting and I didn't want to deal with it. And that's why after my organizing efforts failed for all of my stuff that I wanted to keep and felt like I needed to keep, I embraced minimalism. Maybe not the bare bones minimalism, but definitely more minimalist than past Amy. So all that to say, I was super motivated to make this house work. You can see my master bedroom isn't that big. We don't have a spare bedroom for a nursery. So even though I've been doing a good job decluttering things and our house is easier to manage, I knew my husband would think once I told him that we were actually expecting, he would want to move because of course we need more room for the baby and all the baby gear. And I wanted to preemptively prevent him from insisting on that. So in this closet, I've actually got a baby bassinet. That's right. My first thought was the baby can go in the closet. So I'm very stubborn and determined, and my plan to make this house work was gonna work. I actually enrolled in the decluttering course by Cass, Dawn, and Dana called Take Your House Back and Preparing for This New Baby. If something really matters to you, you're willing to pay for it, and it's just a fact that if you have some skin in the game, you're probably going to be more serious about doing whatever you set your mind to do. I definitely wanted to support their content because I felt like it's been worth it for the past 3 years that I've been listening to them, the impact that they've had on my life, which I hope in my YouTube videos I'm able to convey that to you, that decluttering can really help you reduce your overwhelm. So using some of my fund money for this course, I felt like was worth it. Being serious about decluttering, even if you make some decluttering mistakes, I think vastly improves the quality of my life. What do you think? Write in the comments below what your biggest decluttering regret was and if you thought it was worth it or not. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, click subscribe below if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any more big updates coming, as well as more decluttering and creative content that I'm coming out with next. I aim to post a new video every Friday. I'll see you.